Hey, it's God's Comic Brad Stine, and today we're going to keep it light and discuss if we indeed have a right as a society to kill a baby. Okay. Good news is, if you're pro choice, well, you can choose not to watch. Otherwise, come on in. If we were to distinguish between what would make up the top three most divisive areas in America between competing worldviews, this one will be right in there jockeying for position. I'm, of course, talking about abortion. It is so divisive that it even distinguishes between how each adherent is labeled. It isn't, I'm pro-abortion and I'm anti-abortion, but instead we're actually categorized as I'm pro-life, which by that term alone would logically seem to include everyone, and I'm pro-choice, which again would seem to be the choice of anyone with a brain cell. Matter of fact, if you were to evaluate which of these terms would seem to resonate with the very nature of the American DNA, it would be the protection of my choice. I mean, choice is basically what is essentially described in the First Amendment in regards to protection of religious liberties. As I have discussed in other episodes, the first line of the First Amendment is literally the most important guaranteed right in America because it constitutes your freedom of conscience. It references your religion, but religion can be broadly interpreted to mean whatever you hold most sacred and what it is that drives your behavior and your principles. The Constitution guarantees my right to choose to believe and behave however I choose, whether you agree with me or not, like my choice or even hate it. But guess what? Too bad. Welcome to true liberty. On the other hand, though, is the term pro-life. Now, this phrase doesn't seem to imply its connection to the Constitution because it's literally enshrined there. Right? We find these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, amongst which are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The reason abortion is in a unique category when it comes to our rights, though, is because it's the one and only right demanded by a segment of Americans that literally, if implemented, causes another American to have to pay with their lives the choice of another American without any recourse to objecting or even to be protected and advocated for with legal counsel. So, ironically, every debate about abortion has one thing in common. It's always debated between humans that weren't aborted. You have to get out of the womb before you're able to consider if people still in the womb are actually people at all. Of course, the other criteria is that you have reached a point of a developed, mature, educated mind that gives you the ability to be able to debate the abortion question anyways. Now, remember, every advocate for abortion was given the dignity of life, so as to have the opportunity to safely grow up and be a human, to eventually reach a place of cognizance in which inductive and deductive reason and logic could be implemented. We don't, for example, ever say that, well, since you're only 6 years old and can't effectively debate the abortion issue with a professor of law, we should then have the right to not only ignore you, but we might just kill you, since you don't measure up to the rest of us intellectually. No. Humans have always realized that humans start their lives at the beginning and stop their lives at the end. Each moment is equally important and is just the phase of life they happen to be at the moment. See, we've honored the idea of gradations of human development up until we decided that abortion was necessary if a woman was going to be able to be equally free to shirk her moral and civic duties as a parent and human, like men have done throughout the centuries. In other words, abortion allows women to behave like jackasses, exactly like the guys. There's equality for you, folks. One of the unusual phrases I hear from pro-abortion folks is the phrase, no one's pro-abortion. They believe abortion should be legal. They believe abortion should be accessible. They believe anyone that has an abortion shouldn't feel bad about it or feel shame. And they don't want the government stepping in and telling a woman that she can't have an abortion. All this, they say, while not being pro-abortion. Kind of like buying the merchandise, the t-shirts and the hats of a sports team to wear around, but you're not really a fan. You're sending mixed messages, mixed signals. I don't know if there is an issue in America that causes otherwise normal, nice people to literally lose their mind when it comes to inconsistency and behaving in a moral way. The amount of hoops jumped through, the amount of linguistic gymnastics required to somehow justify people's position for abortion without acknowledging what abortion does to another human being is staggering. But there's a good reason for that. It's because any normal person knows that it's a baby's life at stake that forces them to live in a world of denial in order to survive their conscience's annoying habit of reminding them that babies actually prefer to be left intact until they get to come on out here and join us in all the fun. Normally, when it comes to abortion, the typical tactic is to find another cause to champion and then kind of include abortion as an afterthought. For example, people will say, I don't want the government to tell me what I can do with my body. Have you ever hear someone use that phrase? I'll bet you $1,000. They do, on the other hand, want the government to tell me what I must wear a mask in public. You know, what to do with my body. How much fossil fuels I can burn with my body in a vehicle, or how important it is for the government to forbid my body from using plastic straws, what size beverage I'm allowed to drink, and for God's sake, will the government please make everyone aware that I can use any bathroom I choose based on how I'm identifying that day. Yeah, it's crucial the government tells me everything I can and cannot do with my body unless it involves a baby's body. That's where I draw the line to when the government can intervene. Oh, unless the government wants to tell people they must allow my body to get an abortion. You can and must step in there, government. Just not the other way around. Hard truth that Americans have already reached since Roe v. Wade and the advancement of science with sonograms and understanding genetics is that every human in history at the moment of conception was fully human. A human that contained every chromosome and genetic trait to become a fully functional adult human was there from day one. All those of us on the pro-life side of the aisle is asking is to at least be intellectually honest with that reality. You still might think killing a baby is a woman's right. But at least the debate is being had with this fundamental idea at the forefront. When does a human being have the right to kill another one? Not a comfortable conversation to have, is it? Guess what? It shouldn't be. This is God's comic, Brad Stine. And Lord have mercy, PC free is liberty. I know that was a heavy subject, but that's part of what I'm about. Yeah, you can still come see me live at Unapologetically American doing my comedy. But you know what, guys? If you would just like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Brad Stine Has Issues, if you would go on my Facebook fan page and follow and like, I can build up a bunch of people, let you know when I'm going, when a new episode's about to come. Please share it and bring it all throughout this nation, even around the world. It's Judeo-Christian values and culture thrown into a simple rant. Folks, I need your help. Subscribe right now. You'll be better for it.